Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Dark Souls 3. This is my guided walkthrough for the PC version. We're currently on part 23. It is entitled Aldrich, Devourer of Gods Boss Fight. So I've switched my armor up a little bit to enable me to absorb more magic without taking too much damage. I've also put on one of the rings that will increase my dark damage absorption because this boss uses that projectile, and she spams it. I don't know if it's a he or a she. It looks like a she, it's probably a he. So anyway, so we're gonna charge right up to her. This boss does a pretty consistent thing of moving around the room, using AoEs and using projectiles. So this is the first of her phases, and what she's going to do is she's going to move around the room at different determined locations, and she's going to throw these, which I just lock on and strafe to avoid, and then she's also going to do a stab, which she did right there, and she also does an attack with her scythe, but at this point we're just going to be hitting her tail and trying to hit her body. Every time she teleports, so I should say most every time, she'll do an AoE, as you just saw right there. And then she goes into this phase where she has fire beneath her. And this is what she mostly does. She'll do the arrow rain that you need to really run far away from. And the biggest problem about this fight is that when you're running away from the arrow rain, she tends at the end of it to throw these really fast projectiles, and it's really hard to when you're charging around the room running, it's really hard because you don't have a third thumb, so it's really hard to see what she's doing as far as preparing to throw one of her dark magic, like the main projectile that she does that damages you heftily. She'll probably do it. Okay, now she's doing the arrow rain. So what you basically want to do is kind of bait the attack and just run around the room. And you see this? I was running around the room and avoiding the arrows, and then she did the projectile. She tends to like throw one right after the next. And it took me, I think, the raw file for this was like 40 minutes. I was struggling here. I've always kind of struggled on this fight. And unfortunately, the projectile that she does goes through every piece of geometry in the room. So what you need to do is just approach her, let her attack if she's going to. Preferably take the lock-on off so that you can move the character properly and strike. And then just watch out for that, because that does take some damage off you. But the arrow rain ends you really fast. And I just don't like the fact that she spams magic constantly. It's really annoying. So there's one. She didn't follow it up with another one. She's doing the arrow rain again. So we're going to bait the attack. And if only she made some kind of an audio sign where she was going to throw the projectile so that you can maybe avoid. But I think it's a little unfair to throw the projectile when you're already doing the arrow rain. And I also should say that I have infused my sword with the fire element. And I'm honestly not sure, and I'll have to see from the comments if people can confirm this, is if you infuse a weapon with an element, is it the literal same as using a weapon buff? I'm not sure. But anyway, that's pretty much the... Have I been saying her the whole time? It's probably not a she, so I apologize about that, but it kind of looks like that to me when I'm playing. Let's see if she does that projectile. Of course she did it. It takes away a hell of a lot too. But that's pretty much the extent of the fight. You want to be... Oh, yeah. I don't know. She must have caught me trying to heal right there. Anyway, so we're going to bait these final attacks. It's looking pretty good for us, actually. Let's see if she does the projectile again. Of course. Why not? Why not do it? Why not do it a couple times? But yeah, I don't like this fight. I really don't. It's not that hard. But when you're dealing with a spammer, just a lot of frustration sets in, of course. But anyway, this would really be hard to do without taking damage. I don't even know if you could. And also be careful of the flames right beneath her. Oh yeah, it also should be said, after you defeat this boss, you're going to get taken to the Vort of the Boreal Valley area. And what I would do is homeward bone this so that you save your souls and you don't have to do that fight. Because what's going to happen here, and I know I'm going to run over the time limit, but if you do that fight, you're most likely going to die and you'll lose all of your souls. So before you interact with the woman in there, make sure you homeward bone to the last bonfire, preferably the Vort of the Boreal Valley bonfire, and then spend all of your souls, and then just keep doing the run back, which we'll do in the next video. So take care, and I'm sorry I ran over. My bad.